Very good morning to all. I am Dr. Amol Lathe, Assistant Professor, Department of Environmental Science, Shivneri Mahavidyalaya, Shirur Anpa, District Latur. Dear students, in this lecture, we are going to study a topic hydrological cycle from Unit 1st. In this hydrological cycle, we are going to study the definition of hydrological cycle, then steps or process of hydrological cycles means the various steps which are again involved in the hydrological cycle and how this functioning or overall phenomenon of hydrological cycle is ongoing. We are going to study in this particular topic. As we know that if you take a review of our Earth's water, then we will found that near about 97% of all the water on the Earth or the planet Earth is found in the oceans. Means, as we know, near about two-third portion, or we call sometime it as a near about 71% of our Earth's surface is covered with water, and out of that 71% of water, near about 97.2% of the water which is found on the earth is in the form of ocean. And as we know that the oceanic water, due to the salt content of ocean water, we are unable to use it because it is having a large number or large quantity of or a large volume of salt concentration in that water, and because of which out of 100% this leaves only 2.8% of Earth's water as a fresh water. That means near about only 2.8% of the Earth's water is available as a fresh water, and which can be used for different purposes or various types of uses in our day-to-day life. And out of this 2.8% of Earth's fresh water, or the water which is available on the Earth's surface, from which only 0.8% means near about only 1% of water which is useful for the drinking purpose. In our another topic, we are also going to study the distribution of this water in its various form. But as far as this hydrological cycle is concerned, we are going to take a very brief review of this Earth's water content only. Then this slide speaks about the definition of hydrological cycle. My dear students, sometimes some people may use the term water cycle instead of hydrological cycle, and which is again it is very correct term, because we are getting the water from this hydrological cycle or water cycle. That's why this is commonly known as a water cycle also. So when we going to study the definition of this hydrological cycle, as we know that water is constantly moves among the oceans, then the atmosphere and the earth, along with the biosphere, means through the plants or through the animals or through the human beings. So the water is constantly moves through this ocean, atmosphere, earth and the biosphere. This unending circulation. Unending means unstoppable or continuous circulation of Earth's water supply is your water cycle, or it is also called as a hydrological cycle. So this is a very general definition of this hydrological cycle. Sometimes in some books you will find again some simple definition of this hydrological cycle is hydrological cycle or water cycle is nothing but there is a circulation of water from ocean to the atmosphere or to the earth and biosphere, and again from this we call them as a earth, or from the ocean to the atmosphere also. So that is unending circulation of this water on earth to supply the water to the biosphere. It is also known as the hydrological cycle. So after studying or understanding the concept, or we call as a definition of hydrological cycle, we are going to study there are different steps are again involved in our hydrological cycle. What are these steps? So these are some common steps. For example, evaporation. Another is transpiration, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and infiltration. In our next slide, we are going to study these each steps in very detailed way along with some pictures or some sketches of hydrological cycle. So these are some basic steps which are again involved in our hydrological cycle. So this is the diagrammatic or a colorful sketch of hydrological cycle or water cycle. So in this water cycle, what will happen? You are looking, this blue color is nothing but your oceanic water or surface water. And this surface water is get evaporated due to the solar radiations or the heat which is receiving from the sun. This water it get warms, and after warming of this surface water or oceanic water particularly, because the ocean is having a large portion of water, this water is get evaporated, and that evaporation process is ongoing, and which is the basic or the first step of our hydrological cycle. Then there is again another steps which is involved in the process of hydrological cycle is the transpiration. As we know that the transpiration is nothing but there is a loss of water from the plant, or the excess amount of water which is generally the plants uptaking or taking a water through their roots from a soil, and whatever the excess amount of that water which is remains in that plant, this water is get we call as a loss of water through their stomata which is lying under or at the lower side of leaves of the plants, and through this stomata the water is get evaporated, that is, or the loss of water is generally known as transpiration, and this water is again evaporated due to the solar radiations or the heat or the temperature of the atmosphere, that is simply known as evapotranspiration. So evapotranspiration is nothing but it is we call it as a combination of transpiration and the process of evaporation. After these two steps, whatever the water is get evaporated, that water is get condensed, and that condensed water makes a cloud in our atmosphere. And in another steps, this condensed water is get precipitated or fall down on the earth's surface in a various form, like your hails or like your rain or snow. It is various form of water we are receiving from this condensed process, or from the clouds. That state is known as a precipitation. And after precipitation, once this rain or water is get, we call it as available to our earth's surface, some of the water is get directly run off to the nearby aquatic resources or water resources, or in some cases whatever the snow or the water which is received in the form of snow, that is also get melted, and that runoff is again going to meet to the nearby aquatic resources. Means it may be the rivers, lakes, ponds, streams, or the nearby oceanic resources also. And in the last step, the water which is received to the earth's surface through this precipitation or through this hydrological cycle is again get, we call it as absorbed by the soil, or that is the simple percolation of this water into the soil surface or through the soil, that is simply known as a infiltration of water or storage of water in the underground water form. So in this way, the hydrological cycle, through this evaporation, evapotranspiration, then condensation, then precipitation, runoff, or through the infiltration, there is a continuous or unending circulation of water from the ocean or to the earth's surface, again to the atmosphere, and from atmosphere to the again to the, we call as a earth's surface. So this continuous or unending journey of water from the earth's surface, or we call it as a oceanic water, to the atmosphere, and again from atmosphere to the earth's surface or through the to the biosphere, is simply known as a hydrological cycle. Then, so these steps, which as we have already explained in our diagrammatic presentation, there is a slight description about this evaporation process. So as we know that it is the phase change of liquid water into vapor, means or the oceanic water is get converted or which is changed into vapor form, and this water is get energized by the solar radiations, whatever the solar radiations which are receiving to this oceanic surface or the water, it again due to the large amount of water comes from the oceanic evaporation to this hydrological cycle. Means in the hydrological cycle, our oceanic water play a significant or important role as far as the contribution of this evaporation process is concerned. Then there is another step or second step of your hydrological cycle is transpiration and evapotranspiration. The process of water movement through a plant and its evaporation from its aerial parts. Aerial parts means such as leaves, stems, and the flowers. The water is get, we call as a loss of water, or water is again released into the atmosphere through this process, that is the transpiration. And the evaporation which is get along with the transpiration process is known as a evapotranspiration. So these processes are again important as far as the role of biosphere or the biotic strata in our environment or hydrological cycle. Then there is another step which is the condensation. So what is meant by condensation? It is nothing but it is the cooling of water vapors until it becomes liquid. And when water vaporizes, when this water get vaporizes, water vaporizes due to the process of evaporation, because whatever the solar radiations which are again get received from or to the surface water or oceanic water, water is get heated, or the temperature of that water is get, we call it as increased in temperature, due to which there is a formation of vapors. So this water vaporizes, again it cools slightly, and it becomes in a condensed form, or it get condenses, and the water as condenses on a dust particles in the air, it becomes again in a liquid form or converted into the liquid form. That is the process of condensation. Then another step which is again very important as far as the water cycle or the hydrological cycle is concerned is water falls from the sky in a numerous or in a different type of form or precipitation, including your rain, your snow, and in a form of hail. That is simple your precipitation. So this precipitation comes from a clouds which moves around the world by air current, and through this precipitation only we are getting the water in the form of rain, in the form of snow, or in the form of hail. Then after precipitation there is another important step or the process, that is the runoff water. So what is meant by runoff? It is nothing but it is a movement of water across the channel of stream or lakes or your rivers or ocean. Means whatever the amount or the quantity of water we are received through this precipitation, this water is get moved across the different channels of streams, lakes, or rivers, or directly to the ocean. So that is your runoff, and from this runoff also we are again our oceans are getting a large amount of water, particularly in the our rainy season or in a monsoon period. Then there is a infiltration. So after runoff there is again whatever the water which is we called as a get absorbed by our soil or an area of soil by the downward movement of water during a rainfall. Means it is just nothing but your percolation or absorption of water through the soil, and due to the porosity and the pore size distribution again play an important role in the process of infiltration, or the it affects the rate of infiltration also. Means the water, or we call it as a porosity of soil and the pore size of the soil, if it is good, generally we called as a black cotton soil, or the black soil is again going to absorb a more water as compared to the red soil or another type of soil. So this porosity or the pore size distribution again affect the rate of infiltration. Then this infiltrated water again slowly becomes a part of your groundwater, and once it is get percolated or becomes a part of groundwater, again this water can be utilized for our different purposes through our dug wells, our tube wells, our bore wells, or again our plants are also taking the water through their roots from this groundwater only. So in this way, this infiltration is also having an important role in the process of hydrological cycle. So, dear students, in this particular lecture, we have covered our topic, the hydrological cycle or the water cycle. What we have learned from this hydrological cycle or water cycle? So we have learned the definition of hydrological cycle, then concept of hydrological cycle, then what are the steps are again involved in the hydrological cycle, or how the process of hydrological cycle or water cycle is occurred in our environment. We have studied from this hydrological cycle. So in this way, we hereby conclude our hydrological cycle topic. If you have any doubts or queries related to this hydrological cycle, again you are feel free to communicate me through WhatsApp, through email, or you can ask me directly during the college hours also. Thank you.